It's all about if I change, break the habit or the behavior that I'm consistently doing, how does that influence my thinking in order to get better or more positive outcomes? With regard to real estate, a lot of times people go into these transactions looking at the other side as opposition, looking at the other side in a sense of confrontation. But the way that I approach business is if we're looking at life through a cognitive, uh, a behavioral lens, rather than me be overly aggressive or overly confrontational, I want to behave in collaborative and supportive and emotionally validating ways, whether it is for my client, the agent on the other side, or the agent's client, so that I can have the most efficient communication as well as the best outcome for my side of the transaction. So it's really about being very aware of myself, being very aware of the different parties at the table, and also understanding how to create a setting where people's behaviors are not necessarily based on just the impulsive thinking, but instead on what is the goal and the outcome that I want, and how do I create a healthy uh, trend of behavior that's going to get us to as close as possible to that healthy goal and
Yeah,
outcome.
yeah, and what I'm kind of gathering from you, like you talked about mindfulness and being aware of not only what's around you, but your own personal decision making, your reactiveness. It's almost like taking in an internal account or inventory about your own ways of communication in order to effectively communicate with others or move the ball down the line the best way that you can in a real estate transaction to get to the settlement table. It's almost like thinking things through a little bit more instead of being just reactive. Is that fair to say?
So yeah, that's definitely a part of the mindfulness. I think it's also a sense of if I remain present and not think about the anxiety of what could happen, because in real estate, there's so many variables. There's so many different spiraling emotions that are going on. There's something that will pop up that we didn't expect. So rather than focusing on what could be, we're focusing on what is. What number did they say? What term did they say? How do we behave in a way that is going to get us as close as possible to our desired outcome? That is like the part of business mindfulness. People are always trying to game each other and out chessboard one another, but then oftentimes they create worse problems for themselves because they didn't see what was coming down the pike because they were so focused on this other thing that didn't actually occur.
That's such a great answer. And it kind of